Hello and welcome again to the Three Collector. Today I'm going to try and finish up some of my Wrestling All-Star cards from 1982 and 83. If you followed some of my other posts that I've had on there, I've talked about certain cards that I've had, and I've got some more slabbed autograph cards. Most of these were done by SGC, back when SGC used to certify autographs. Used to be able to get a really good deal on getting my cards certified and the autograph certified at the same time. Didn't take these out of the plastic, so I hope that this works out well. But here we go. First card I have is the Destroyer. I always liked the Destroyer. He actually was a school teacher up in New York. He also played for the Cleveland Browns at one point. He owned a golf course up in upstate New York. Made it real big, primarily in Japan was his real place. Now, these are the 1982. These are the A series that I'm going to be starting off with. But that's the Destroyer. I always loved this card. I thought it was a great pick, up close. Not many teeth left from over the years. When he got done with wrestling, he did get all his teeth fixed. Had a much better smile once he did that. Here's another Destroyer. Now this is back when they had the red flip cards. Kind of like the black a lot better. That's why I was really disappointed when they quit authenticating autograph cards. But I guess the way that the market is so much now, where people are opening up packs and sending in so many cards, it's to authenticate the autograph and the card. Became a little bit of a hassle for them. If you notice, he also, the Dean Destroyer, he turned into as a mask, which is pretty neat. I always kind of like that. Here's my third The Destroyer card. Now, what's real nice about this one is he actually wrote his name in Japanese with an arrow. So, and nice thing is SGC went ahead and put that it was signed twice. So he signed it in Japanese on the front and was nice enough to write Japanese. And then on the back, he signed it as the Destroyer, once again making a little mask out of the D, which I really think is really cool. Next one I have is Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund, of course, was WWF champion for about 6 or 7 years, I believe, and then was beat by the Iron Sheik. And then the Iron Sheik was beat by Hulk Hogan and started Hulk Hogan's run. Back then, you couldn't go from a babyface champion to another babyface champion, so they had to kind of throw the Iron Sheik in there to be the guy in the middle, per se. So it's a nice autograph by Bob Backlund. Next one, I really like this one because unlike most of these, you can tell that this Jerry Lawler card was actually the picture was taken outside. It looks like maybe fall or maybe even winter if you could get a good look in the background. But that's a nice card of Jerry the King Lawler. Once again, SGC. Nice card. I got this signed at the one of the Dothan reunions about 3 years ago. Here's Ivan Koloff. I actually bought this card a little bit before he passed away. The autograph, I really take this out. The autograph is very shaky. It was right before he passed away when I bought this. I bought the card unslabbed, and then I had the card slabbed itself. But he was the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff. Next one is Mr. Terry Funk. I actually got this card and sent it to Terry. His inscription is "Just a kid living a dream," or he'll put 2 X's on the card itself for the Double Cross Ranch. If you ever are able to get a card of Terry, as far as I know, he's still signing. So, but Terry is the hard card legend. And then this one, it didn't cost me $1 million. I actually picked this card up at on a site for $10. and I thought I was getting a great deal. I always worry about when you're getting a great deal, great wrestling all-star card, and it was already autographed, that it might be a reprint, but it wasn't, which was nice. I also like how Ted DiBiase also puts the $sign on the bottom. Just a great card of Ted DiBiase. Another guy that held the WWF Heavyweight Championship for years and years and years, Bruno Sammartino. Sent this one to Bruno. He charged the whole $5 to sign cards. He was pretty straightforward in doing it, so that's why I took the chance. This is not a very easy card to get, especially when he was alive. Most of the time, if the wrestlers are still alive, their cards go for a lot more because people are trying to get them signed. And now that they have all these conventions, a lot more way to get a hold of these guys than before. Next card I have is Don Morocco, the Rock. Bought this card unslabbed. Actually sent it to a promoter out in Hawaii where Don Morocco lives. He put his Hall of Fame on there. But just great having that card. I remember as a kid, I remember people always calling him a beach bum. And I always used to think as a kid, why is that so bad to be on the beach all day? But great card of Don Morocco. That card went to Hawaii and back. Next card is one of the true Mount Rushmore's, Harley Race. Got this card, and I want to say I actually did send it to Harley. I don't even think he charged when he was alive to sign anything. Sometimes when I was sending these better cards in, I'd at least throw a 5 and 10 spot in just to make sure I got my card back, give him a little bit more of an incentive to mail it back to me. But it's a nice Harley Race. The next set of cards are from the 1982 B series. And the first one is Mr. Wrestling 2. And, of course, at Mr. Wrestling 2, I got signed at the Dothan reunion when Mr. Wrestling 2 came back to the mainland probably about a year or two before he passed away. His health wasn't great, so I'm sure he said, I want to go back to the mainland and, basically see people I haven't seen in years and years. So, but very nice. Wasn't very talkative, but it was so hot that day. Did wear his mask while he signed. He never took off his mask. Supposedly, he was Jimmy Carter's favorite wrestler, and Jimmy Carter invited him to the warehouse, but the Secret Service was going to make Mr. Wrestling 2 take off his mask. And being a stern believer in kayfabe, he refused to take off his mask and did not get to meet the president, which is quite amazing if you think about it. But yeah, that one was done in Dothan, Alabama. Next one I have is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Bought this car with a big lot. This was probably about 3 years ago, back before I got too worried about whether or not they would be real. The cool thing is Ricky's real last name is a great professional wrestling name that he never used. It's actually Blood. But everybody knows about the 3 great matches between Ricky and Ric Flair. Next one I have is Gorgeous Jimmy Valiant. I sent this up to, this was Raw. I sent it up to somebody up in New York who would go to his wrestling shows. Very happy to get this signed. I actually have one more of these out right now for a signing. So hopefully I'll be able to add another Jimmy Valiant to my collection. Next one I have is Greg the Hammer Valentine. If you remember him from, like I do, from his WWF days. Also with the Honky Tonk Man when they were Rhythm and Blues. If you ever see the WrestleMania where Rhythm and Blues comes out in the convertible pink Cadillac, if you look real close, the driver is Diamond Dallas Page before he was actually Diamond Dallas Page. But I actually met Greg once at a Comic-Con. And He wasn't the most chatty person in the world. Nice, but not very chatty. And you can tell he looks very, very young there. Next one I have is Joyce Grable. I got this card signed at the Dothan Wrestling Reunion. Every out of the 3 series, the Wrestling All-Stars included a woman in every one of their sets. There was Fabulous Moolah in set A, and then Joyce, and then for the 83 set was Candy Divine. But Joyce was very nice. Went to meet her and got this signed, so I was kind of thrilled to get this one. It's not a very easy card to get, this Joyce Grable. Next one is Dutch Mantell. Dutch Mantell was, I got this one signed at the Dothan Reunion also. He doesn't sign it Dutch Mantell, he signs it Dirty Dutch. Real nice guy, talked about his time in Vietnam, kind of the job that he had while he was in the Army during Vietnam. But very nice, wanted to talk about wrestling a lot, so if you wanted to talk about wrestling, it was great meeting Dutch. Next one is Tony Gurria. I got this one for a real good deal from my friend Chad. He was able to get this for me, and I've actually got another Tony Gurria out. But I remember Tony Gurria back in the days when he was with Rick Martel, and they could never beat Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito because Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito cheated every match, and that's why they won. But great Tony Gurria from New Zealand. I don't even know if he's still with the WWE, if he's working in some capacity with them, but I was very happy to get that card signed. Next one is the superstar Billy Graham, the man that was probably Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan. I remember when Billy kind of made his comeback, I want to say in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. But I had always heard of him, but never saw him until he came back. And he kind of came back with a new look, kind of a tie-dye T-shirt, but just a man that was absolutely just monstrous before his time. Back before, he took bodybuilding back when a lot of those guys weren't really bodybuilders. They were big men, but not like Billy, superstar Billy Graham. Kind of do like how he put the super and then he just drew a star. I thought that was kind of cool, but I got this done through a mail order. So with a few other of his, that was real nice. Superstar Billy Graham. Mr. Olympia, Jerry Stubbs. Great guy. I've met him several times over the years. He's just a real gentleman, signs everything for you, real nice to the fans. Every time he signs something, he'll sign it Mr. Olympia, and then I started asking him for the Jerry Stubbs. I said, well, you got to put your heel name on there too, so it's kind of nice that I got him to do both for me, but very nice man. Next one is Rocky Johnson. I got this signed in Milton, Florida. It was him and the Wild Samoans. They were doing a show. It was the same show where I used to watch Rosie, who was Sika's son and Roman Reigns' brother. But Rocky Johnson, of course, married into that family. Rocky is or was from Canada. Very nice guy. And I was glad to get those signed by him, not knowing that he didn't have much time left, but it was very nice. And then the next one is, last one I have is Austin Idol. If you've ever read anything about Austin Idol, he was Mike McCord for a while. He was kind of a heavy-set guy, big but heavy, and then he got into a near-fatal plane crash and lost all the weight, changed his look dramatically, and became Austin Idol. Could have been a guy that probably could have replaced Hulk Hogan, but from what I hear is he won't fly anymore. So back in the 80s, and late 70s, early 80s, there wasn't they weren't going to be able to do much with him if he wasn't going to fly in the WWF. And but he was nice. I got this signed probably about 4 years ago. If you've watched a little NWA, he was a Nick Adonis's manager for a while. So once again, thank you for letting me share some of my Wrestling All-Star cards that are signed. Try to get some while you still can, and stay thrifty, and take care.